that Mayor Adams and President Trump could share a jail cell in New York.
Okay, I would like to dispel the notion that Trump will ever end up in prison. Okay, he's not.
Eric Adams, see, that's where race comes into play a tiny bit.
I don't think so. I don't think it's about race so much as his position.
In this one, Ana and Cenk basically get in a fight. Ana Kasparian has basically left the left, all but official, right? And that doesn't mean I don't believe that she's gonna go out there and vote for Donald Trump. But in this one, Cenk Uygur makes a statement that forces Ana Kasparian to essentially side with Donald Trump and defend him, which is something that the left, the far left, seem to force people who are siding with the truth to do, right? They force us to defend Donald Trump, even in situations where some people don't necessarily even want to, but for the sake of truth, have to, right? We've seen it with Dan Crenshaw in the past, and amongst many others, right? Even me, myself, have been forced to defend Donald Trump in situations where it's like, why am I even defending him over this? But it's because of, for sake of the truth, right? Because the truth matters, and to me, the truth wins in the end. And this one is over the recent Eric Adams indictment, and so let's just go ahead and check it out.
Today we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams has officially been indicted following a 10-month investigation by federal prosecutors. This is now the first time a sitting mayor in New York City is facing federal charges. The 57-page indictment accuses Adams of 5 counts that include bribery, conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and soliciting improper foreign campaign donations.
I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I have been facing these lies for months, since I began to speak out for all of you.
So he's claiming that because he was critical and harsh toward Joe Biden's, handling of the border, that is why he was made a target. There are others who are alleging that, look, there's all sorts of criminality in New York City, and isn't it convenient that they went after the black mayor, basically implying that this is a racially motivated attack against Eric Adams. But I want to be clear, there are plenty of people who aren't buying that argument, including the gentleman that you're about to hear from in the background as Eric Adams was trying to have a press conference. Let's watch.
Your policies are anti-black. You're a disgrace to all black people in this city. The things that you have done are unconscionable. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by police. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us. And this is not a black thing. This is a justice thing.
That couldn't have been fun for Eric Adams, but he certainly deserved it.
Yeah. So all of a sudden the African garb comes out, charges of racism come out because whenever it's Menendez, same thing in New Jersey, the senator there. Oh, they're targeting me because I fight so hard for Latinos. First of all, do you?
Do you? Yeah.
Right, you fight mainly for your donors.
No, my favorite excuse for Menendez having the gold bars is because I'm Cuban. I mean, I'm ready for anything. Got to make sure I protect my money, and I do so in the form of gold bars, obviously.
Yeah, and Biden was targeting you. Look, Biden can barely walk, talk, or think. I mean, he can barely function. You think he's bothering to target the Democratic mayor of New York? It's absolutely absurd, but I got hilarious parts for you, I gotta tell you. First, Marco Antonio, one of our members on YouTube, made a good point. Eric Adams is being controlled by the big kebab industrial complex. Now I gotta deal with this. Okay. Okay. See, we do a different kind of show here. A lot of leftists would be offended, right?
But Turks do be making those kebabs.
And they are big, to be fair. And we have done, I mean, just go to Germany. There is a big kebab industrial complex.
There really is.
Okay. Anyways, Marco, that was funny. Thank you. Appreciate it. Become one of our funny, smart members by hitting the join button below, and I'll read your comment during the airs. So Eric Adams is really vulnerable because he's down to 28% approval. And so it's not like he's got a lot of folks to back him up because of this. And so now here comes the hilarious parts of the story. There's one Turkish guy called the promoter, and he says, why don't I get, I'm making up accent, okay, why I don't get him $100,000, okay, and sorry for using my dad's actual accent, okay, and his Eric Adams staffer says, no, quote, that could cause a big stink later on, so they say, I don't think Adams is gonna accept it. You go to Adams is like, $100,000, yeah, accept. Staffer's like, really? Yeah, he's like, yeah, okay, so these are according to the allegations, and then he's going to do giant travel to Turkey. He's going to stay at the Four Seasons, fly first class. The tickets are worth at least $15,000 for him and his wife, right? And so the Turkish guy says, oh, no, it's okay. It won't be free because he's going to register as flying. We have to say, we'll charge him $50. And so the staffer goes, no, dear, $50, what? Quote a proper price. And they're like, please, and they say, please make it 1,000 or so. Let it be somewhat real.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
Oh my God.
They're like, we want to take the bribe. We just, if you make it $50, everybody will know we're being bribed. So hilarious. And then the last one, this is my favorite. So you know how the FBI raided his car and went in and got his electronic device? It didn't have his cell phone on him at the time. So they said, okay, well, Mr. Mayor, we're gonna need your cell phone. He said, oh, no problem, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Okay, he says he didn't have it on him. Anyway, so he brings it to them, and before it had a 4-digit security code, now all of a sudden it has a 6-digit security code.
Okay.
And they're like, Mayor Adams, why did you improve the security on your code, right, on your phone?
To make it harder for you, bro.
No. He says, so that his staff wouldn't inadvertently or intentionally delete the contents of his phone. He's trying to protect the evidence against them in the phone. He doesn't want the staffers to get rid of it.
Right.
So they say, the investigators say, oh, okay, well, no problem. Thank you for protecting that evidence. So what's your 6-digit code? And he's like, I forgot.
How is he this dumb? No, but that's the thing that stands out to me the most. Like, how are you this dumb? By the way, good job throwing your staff under the bus. What a piece of crap. But like, did you not think this through? Did you not think through that the investigators are gonna ask for the code?
Yeah, and so that's why he said, oh, I have a genius idea. I'll just tell him I forgot. They're like, you changed the code yesterday.
So Mayor Eric Adams obviously isn't very smart, and this kind of has the vibes of how what's her name, Hillary Clinton deleted herself. I mean, she didn't just add the code to 2 digits to the code. She went ahead and smashed everything up with hammers and deleted everything with a program called Bleach Bit or whatever it is, right? And I gotta apologize, Cenk Uygur, whatever his name is. He thinks he's funny. And he's not. So if you weren't laughing at his jokes just a minute ago, neither was I. So you're in good company. But I had to play that so that you could understand Jinx, whatever his name is. I say it wrong every time. His position a little bit.
You already forgot it? He's like, yep, and I'm not guilty at all. Biden and the deep state are targeting me. If you say so, brother. If you say so. But it doesn't look like it.
Now he intends to finish the remainder of his term, assuming that he isn't tried and put in prison. But he doesn't want to step down, even though there are increasing calls for him to do so. AOC called for him to step down just yesterday. The only person who can remove him from his position is Governor Kathy Hochul, and so far she has given no indication that she intends to do that. So
yeah, now fun fact, after the election, it is actually possible that Mayor Adams and President Trump could share a jail cell in New York.
Okay, I would like to dispel the notion that Trump will ever end up in prison. Okay, he's not.
Eric Adams, see, that's where race comes into play, a tiny bit.
I don't think so. I don't think it's about race so much as his position. He wasn't president. Like, I just think.
Yeah, I hear you. But a white, rich, powerful mayor of New York like Bloomberg ain't going to prison, right?
We've seen white politicians get sentenced
to
prison.
To be fair to Anna's position.
For corruption, by
Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, is now indicted.
Yeah.
But that's when he beclowned himself so hard that he kind of stepped out of the establishment. And so I guess it's not less about race, more about are you firmly entrenched in the establishment? And I guess Eric Adams isn't. So it's not impossible for him to see jail time as opposed to Donald Trump.
Haven't there been senators who went to prison for corruption? Am I misremembering this?
Yeah, I mean, Menendez is about to go to prison.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. Remember, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So we'll see how the trial plays out.
So at least Ana Kasparian there maintained a little bit of integrity and pointed out that no, this isn't a racial thing. And this is an example of how the default go-to is to either blame racism or some other, DEI type inspired cause in order to protect people that are on their side, right? If they're Democrats, Cenk Uygur is definitely going to try to defend them. Whereas if Donald Trump had so much as added 2 digits to his security on his cell phone, Cenk Uygur would be in a fit of rage claiming Donald Trump is the most corrupt, insert Cenk Uygur madman rant. So anyways, you gotta love the hypocrisy of these woke mainstream media, Democrat loving pundits, right? Like Cenk Uygur. And thankfully, Ana Kasparian has woken up a little bit in order to check him. But this is another example of what's going to make Ana Kasparian eventually just come out here and vote for Donald Trump. Maybe it won't happen. There's only a couple weeks left of the election, so maybe it won't happen in time. But I think that the end place for Ana Kasparian is to essentially say, I can't align with these crazy woke lefties like Cenk anymore. Every single time the default is to go woke and be crazy, and ultimately you get woke, you go broke. She might be smart enough to realize that the end goal of these woke loving pundits is ultimately going to lead us to a place of communism potentially that makes the world a worse place for Ana Kasparian and the rest of us to live in. And so I think she's going to come around even more so, and maybe even secretly vote for Donald Trump in this election. I wouldn't bet on it, but you just never know. Donald Trump has gained so much speed over the last month, considering Kamala Harris has completely flopped in her attempts to gain favor. She's actually done the opposite, and you see it in the polling, you see it in Polymarket. And so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Come visit me on Saturdays for the live show, the Jar Openers podcast at 8 o'clock. And I'll either see you there or I'll see you in the next video.